a little bit more about that, but Amber has wonderfully put in all the links and ways you can donate in the chat.
So we're all super excited about an incredible weekend, and we wanted to talk a little bit more about New Eleusis. You guys keep hearing about New Eleusis, and Athena prepared a slideshow earlier this year that she wanted me to present to everyone if you are so inclined to listen. Yes? Okay. All right, I got a yes to that. So we're going to do this. Now, this is the first time I've presented this electronically. So if it gets weird, I'm sorry. I'm not really sure how this particular software works in a presentation, but we're going to give it a go. I just try to do what the ladies asked me to do, right? So Demeter has asked us. Oh yeah, no, it's on there. Sorry. Demeter has asked us to rebuild her holy city. In ancient Eleusis, the goddess and humans thrive together. You know, we've heard about in the Bible how God dwelled upon the earth, and then God left the earth, and we wonder why. Why? Well, Demeter tells me that it's because she had her holy city, and then the Romans came and took it to Rome and built Vatican City around it. She feels that it is vital for the balance of the planet for us to have this connection with the gods again, and that we have a place to worship together. Her particular message is she wants to save the planet's environment. She wants you to have personal connection with deity, so you don't have to have faith, you know. She wants you to have temples to work in and ministries that make the world, that fill in the pockets of our broken world. We all see a world around us where there's all these broken institutions, and she says that it's because we do not have these ministries, these temples of the gods. She wants you to be free, and she says that food freedom is imperative, that you're not truly free if you don't know where your food is coming from, and that we are all enslaved in these jobs because we have to have food. And then she wants you to know how you can personally be a part of this. The ATC's been doing this for 42 years. This is the 37th Spring Mysteries, and we have been in existence for 42 years. That's longer than some of you have been alive. Our founder, Pete Davis, had a vision, and he was not planning on becoming a clergy member. He was called to do this work, to pave the way for us to have civil rights. The reason you have the number of pagans on the planet today is specifically related to the work that Pete Pathfinder did to get you to be able to worship in the military, in prison, to keep the police from breaking up your circles, to be able to worship wherever you want to. Pete did that, and it is an honor for me to follow in his footsteps. I built the college that Pete made the groundwork for, and I have taken a lot of the skeletons that he left us and put them into play. He did the planting, and I am growing the shoots, right? We know that the future of paganism is boundless. There are so many doors open to earth-based religions, and it's because of the work that we're doing in the ATC that makes all of that legal, so the governments can't stop us, they can't hold us back. And the goddess wants you to participate in growing her ministry upon the earth in any way that you want to. The sky is literally the limit. The ATC, you may not know this about the ATC, but every once in a while somebody will say that we're a Catholic version of paganism, and I personally take that as a compliment. They mean it as an insult, but I take it as a compliment. We worked hard to get the paperwork that we have. We have the same paperwork as the Catholic Church, according to the government and the Mormons. So we have a group umbrella exemption. It's the only one in all of paganism. After we got it, they changed the rules and it costs millions of dollars to get one now. But what it allows us to do is be the mother that has all of these babies. We have affiliated churches all over the world. We have subsidiaries such as Spiral Scouts and Wiccan Seminary, and we have charities such as Pagans in Need, Save the Seeds Foundation, and all of these things. We have room for more. We make it easy for you to incorporate as a group, subsidiary, or charity, because you just go through us and we can put our stamp of approval on you. The IRS doesn't have any ability to say no, because we get to say yes for you and make you legal. We have a long-standing priesthood, and we are impactful community activists. Always have been. That has been our role in the community, to make it safe for you to practice the way you want to. The ancients believed in Eleusis because it gave them a place to commune with the gods. The gods were right there, as they were here with you this weekend. Knowing God is different from having faith in God. And coming to face, it's really hard to be like, oh, well, that didn't really happen. Sometimes you have to go, hang on a second, what's going on here? But then when you know God exists, you don't have to be afraid anymore. You don't have to wonder if you have a purpose. You know deep in your soul that you were incarnated here for a reason, and you can live a happy life knowing that when you pass on, there's some place for you to go, and you'll be reincarnated, and it's a cycle of life. It's very similar to when you were a kid and you were afraid to go to sleep, and now you're not because you're an adult and you know you're going to wake up in the morning. It's very similar when you come to Eleusis. You gain that spiritual maturity. But also, the goddess has told us that this isn't just for pagans. The information she gives us here is for everyone. And she wants us to expand beyond paganism to allow this understanding of deity to be beyond just witches, and to incorporate all of these other groups who are trying to save the planet as well, so that they can have that piece of being and personal gnosis about the divine and come home to their mother. Spring Mysteries happens every year at Easter. We encourage you to go ahead and mark your calendar now and plan to return, but also bring people with you. We have a planet in crisis. We need more people to know about it. Every aspect of our world is in crisis right now. And Demeter tells us that she has restored her mysteries on the planet at this time because our planet's in peril. We have lost the customs and rituals that taught humanity, that taught the animals that were humans how to be human, how to have a civilization, how to create cities, how to work together. And we have lost these things. We have lost the ritual of eating as a family and growing our own food, and some of these things that we even founded this country on. We have lost those things. Fair trials and justice for all, equality, and all of this stuff. We have lost this. These were the basis of the mysteries of Eleusis. And we are called to act. We were restored on the planet too, like pagans are. We've been around forever, but we were really stamped out. And she says that this is on purpose by people who wanted to be in power. It was impossible for the powers that are the money people that are in power now to gain that power without stamping out the pagans. Because when you have personal power that paganism gives you, it's hard to be dominated. It's hard to be controlled. So we are called to share this confidence and this understanding with others so that together we can change the world. We have to work together to save the earth. I'm not talking about sharing our religion as much as sharing the moral imperative that we have to save the planet. And it takes us being spiritually aware to be able to do it. It's less about sharing a religion and more about sharing the spiritual connectedness that the indigenous peoples of all countries know instinctually. That has been taken away from us, and we have to get it back, and we have to share it with others. She says that it is imperative for us to build the holy city so that we can teach this, we can change minds, we can have new ideas and technology that generate new lifestyles. This has to be a lifestyle and not just something that we do once a year. And there's more to come. We have not incorporated everything that she wants to share with us yet. We are being given baby bites as we grow and incorporate, and then she gives us more and more information. We've been sponsoring this festival since 1984. We are committed to it. We work on it all year long. We have painstakingly worked to restore the mysteries. The Imolpidai work with scholars. We prayerfully rediscover and rewrite the festival every year and reveal new mysteries as they come about. And we're going to continue to do that. These are faces that you have recognized for 10 or more years, and we are not going anywhere. This is a lifelong commitment for us, and we take our oath very seriously. We know that you need somebody that you can depend on to carry this into the future. We hold these mysteries at the spring equinox because this is when Demeter wants us to do it. I don't know if you've noticed, I don't know if you've been outside, but the world feels a little bit different after you go to Eleusis. And it's because the daughter is back, the holy daughter is back, and the mother is rejoicing. We choose vessels every October, and the gods are consulted. Vessels, somebody sent me an email that says, why are you a vessel and why did you choose to do this work? We choose to do it because we're called to do it. We feel in our soul that we're called to do it. The gods call their vessels so that they can commune with us and speak to us. And if you feel called to do this work, we encourage you to come to GodCon in August and present, and then be a part of it. This is something that is open to everyone. This is not an exclusive group. Rehearsals start in January and they go all the way to August. That all the way to the mysteries. That was a previous incarnation of Dusty. Isn't he amazing? The mysteries are an initiatory experience. They're a series of psychodramas that reveal the story of the Great Mother, but the story is integral to our understanding our relationship with her. The story is about you. The reason that you can't reveal what you learned is because other people aren't going to learn the same things you learned. You learn exactly what you're supposed to. The gods speak exactly to you. Pilgrims journey to see these mysteries because it changes them forever. And it's really something that you have to see to appreciate. I've invited people to the mysteries, and I've given them opportunities to pay significantly less money or no money and exchange work for it. And if you don't understand what you're being called to do, you really can't appreciate it. People do not get it unless they're here. So you really have to bring people to it and allow them to witness it, to fully understand it. And you guys, some people just aren't called to do it, and that's okay. They're initiated oath-bound rites. And while you're not allowed to speak of what you learn here, you can share what you saw at what you attended. You can talk about the bunny things. You can talk about the fact that you went to psychodramas. You can't talk about what you got out of the psychodramas. You can talk about the talent show, the community, that you were deeply changed, that you found a new perspective, you had spiritual epiphanies. This is how it's always been. If you read anything about Plato and Socrates and the ancient Greeks, you will get information about the fact that those people were initiated. And when you become initiated into the mysteries, you join those ranks. And you get to meet the gods themselves, enshrined and fully embodied. I don't know how many of you had the privilege of going to the shrines, but if you go, you know that you're not talking to somebody dressed up in an outfit. You're talking to a god dressed up in a human dress with a voice and eyes. And it's really different to be able to experience that. And no matter which person holds the god comes through and it touches your heart, and it is an experience that you can't, that's why you can't share it. You just can't express that to somebody. Demeter wants to meet with her children. She wants to communicate directly. She is sad that you guys don't know how much she loves you. She is sad that there are all these people on the planet that are separated from her, doesn't even know that she exists. And the mother doesn't care what name you call her. She just wants you to know that she's there, she cares, and that your time on earth is important. And this is an invaluable experience for the people that are touched by the Holy Daughter and the Great Mother, and all the other gods as well. The temples of Eleusis are created to make balance in civilization. The ministries create an infrastructure of the holy city and are a microcosm of how the gods envision humanity to experience the paradise that they've created for them. You might have heard some vocabulary. This is the votary, this is the vessel, this is a votive. Votaries are like the high priest or high priestess of the temple. They're the wisdom keepers they maintain the temple from year to year. They instruct the vessels and make sure that the vessels are holding the energy, have the correct information and resources to be able to do their work. And the votives are previous vessels who continue to support the temple and the current vessel in their work. A devotee, that would be the people like you who come to the temples and assist in the work of the ministry that the temple does. There's ways to serve at festival, but there are also everyday devotees. And that's what we're going to talk about next, the organizations that run on volunteer help and need many skills. People often think, oh, well, I don't know what I can do. I can only do data entry, or I can only, everybody makes a difference. We need people to wash dishes and scrub toilets, as well as write rituals and officiate. There's all of these different levels. And truly, you have to start at the bottom to move your way to the top. Because if you're not willing to wash dishes, then you don't deserve to write rituals, right? And that's really how Demeter feels about it. There is no unimportant job at the mysteries and within her on her planet. The Temple of Demeter is about heirloom foods. She feels like we are losing the foods that sustain our perfect health. She feels like the foods we eat are plastic, and the reason that there is so much disease on the planet is because we don't garden. We don't eat appropriately. We're meant to be in perfect health. We're not meant to have diabetes or cancer or autism or all of these other problems that we have. And she tells us that it's related to the food, but also the way we eat, not blessing our food, not eating it as a family. Poseidon is about food freedom and having a clean, pure, pristine earth upon which to glean our food. If you could tell, Poseidon's pretty unhappy about the pollution. That is his domain, is to keep our world clean and free of poisons. That the ocean is the beginning of the cycle, and it is also the end. Artemis is about raising great quality children and our children getting the things that they need to fulfill their place on earth. Spiral Scouts is her ministry. Persephone is about spiritual awareness, learning the lessons of life, taking your challenges and becoming the victor of your life, not falling into victimhood, but understanding that everything happens for a reason and finding your true purpose. The Temple of Kore is about beautifying our world, beautifying our surroundings. Flowers make us happy. When your world blooms at your feet, you feel in a positive place in your life. Hecate is about initiation and ritual, understanding your connection between the worlds, putting the past, present, and future together and finding the balance and the patterns within it, helping you see the path ahead. The Temple of Aphrodite is goddess of beauty and love, entertainment, and the salon, working together as a community to create beauty within and without our world. Zeus is all about executive government, putting all the pieces in place and having them work together to create a balanced world. Where Hera is more about society and etiquette within the family and the community itself, Zeus is more about the executive, where Hera is about customs and traditions. Temple of Hermes, public relations. How do we speak to each other? We have learned in the age of the internet that we don't always have respectful communication. And Hermes wants us to be respectful and kind in our communication. And he's often a bit of a trickster in that kind of way. When you might not be getting the lesson, he'll trick you into finding it. Hestia, how we prepare our foods is so important to taking care of our bodies so that we can do the work of the Great Mother, but also feeding the hungry. Pagans in Need is the food charity for Temple of Hestia, and she loves that charity. The Temple of Apollo, theatrical production and directing. This is where we actually glean the information from the gods and put them into work for humans. The Seattle Psychics Association is a big part of that as well, giving humans the messages from the gods. The Temple of Athena is about education and justice, higher ideals. We have Wollstonstein Theological Seminary. She's also interested in the courts being just and finding ways to help people learn from their mistakes rather than be punished for their mistakes. Temple of Aries is about security, protecting those who cannot protect themselves, keeping the temples safe, but doing it in a sacred way that does not subjugate or oppress or bully. Temple of Hephaestus, building, maintenance, building the temple, building the world in the civilization so that we have places to gather together and do the work that the gods need us to do. The Temple of Hades, dying in a sacred way, grieving in a sacred way that allows us to move through the grieving process and not get stuck. Ancestral rites, honoring the dead, remembering and appreciating them for what they gave us. A lot of us think that, the world started when we woke up, when we became on this planet. A lot of people, they discount the previous, and Hades wants us to remember our history and honor those that came before, as well as die with honor. The mysteries are super important to the world, and we want everybody to know, but it's going to take you to get out there and share what you feel is important about the mysteries, for you to help donating your time and energy, donating your money, working with the charities, working with the temples. We can't do this with the Aphrodite or even with the Eleusinian priesthood or even just within the ATC. This is a world endeavor. And so the goddess is asking you to be personally involved in bringing about new Eleusis. And she wants you to stay connected. There are a lot of temples on Facebook. We have a lot of ways to stay connected. And even on our website, there are a continuation of rituals that happen throughout the year where we keep the energy going. We need your help to raise money. We need pledges and donations. So we want to buy land. We have a lot of land that comes up available for us to purchase from time to time. But until we have enough pledges so that we can say, look, bank, we have this many pledges every month, they're not going to give us a loan. And we can't really move forward without a significant amount of money. So far, we have raised $65,000 for new Eleusis. But what our goal is to have $10,000 in each one of these categories, which gives us $100,000 a month. Now, that might seem like a lot of money to you, but we're talking about running a holy city. That's going to take a lot, right? I personally donate $500 a month every month to the endeavor. And as you can see, there's less need at $500 a month as there is at $5 a month. If you can do any one of these categories, and any one of these categories can get up to $10,000 a month, that's going to make a huge difference. Everybody comes in at where they come in at. So what can you do to help? And how can you get other people involved in helping? There's a pledge program, and we have different things that you receive for different levels of involvement. Some of them involve free festival tickets, free food, names on bricks, names on pillars, patches, all kinds of different things. And this is on our website. I'm going to give you a link for this at the end. But any little amount, if you do it every month, makes a difference when we go to the bank and try to get a loan for a piece of land. What we have been doing in the past is giving $20,000 a year to the state parks department. And we're now looking at giving somebody else $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year. Demeter wants us to put that into our own land. She says it's imperative for us to build this up together. And I agree. I don't want to give our money away. I don't want to give our wealth away to people who don't understand and don't appreciate it. So if we all work together, there are millions of pagans. Do you know there are over 2 million pagans in New York City, New York State alone? If everybody just donated $1, we could do this tomorrow. This is not a 10-year project. We can do this if everybody just decides to give. So we made an incentive. We want to go to Eleusis to glean more information. And so what we decided to do is when we fill up any one of these categories, we're going to take all of the people in that category and draw. And the person who draws that will get 2 tickets for you and someone you love to come with us to Eleusis. And if all 10 categories qualify, that's 20 tickets to Greece. And if we have the amount of money that is filled up in each one of these categories, you guys, we can afford to do it. We can afford to do this and more. So, of course, you're going to be competing with less people if you're coming in at $1,000 than when you're coming in at $5, right? But still, if you're supposed to go to Eleusis, I know that the goddess will pull your name out of that hat. New Eleusis is going to allow us to build a better world together. We dream of a better world every year. You are called to make this happen. That's why you're here. At the beginning of the rites, Hecate says, "You are my witch child, and that's how I have called you here. Thank you for coming." They want your help. And together we will educate the world, have a place to worship, and be able to turn hearts and minds toward a more spiritual lifestyle and create a kinder, gentler society where all are free to pursue happiness and harmony in the world around them. This is the evolution of mankind. This is what the gods are trying to create. They're doing it in a lot of different ways, and what she has asked us to do is bring all of those other people in so that we can all work together, but we have to have a foundation to work upon, or we'll get lost in all of the different avenues. We have to have that foundation, and the Holy City is that foundation. So these are a couple of links that you can use. atcwicca.org/pledge. That's where you create your pledge at. Pledges are going to be more impactful because we can go to the bank and say, this is how much we get every month. Give us a loan. Let us buy this. There's 54 acres that we found just across the river. It's not across the street, but it's definitely across the river. There have been and continue to be properties to come available, but we can't move on any of them until we have enough pledges to be able to get the loan. Now, if you can't do a monthly thing, I totally understand. That's why we have paypal.me. That double colon is a typo. paypal.me/atcwicca. If you just want to give a one-time donation, that works too.
Are pledges tax deductible?
Pledges are absolutely tax deductible. All donations to the ATC are tax deductible, and we can give you a letter that goes with your taxes, or you can just claim them. And if you ever need it, we can certainly back you up. But if it shows that it goes to the Aquarian Tabernacle Church, it is definitely tax deductible. The goddess needs you. The future of the earth depends on you. We can't do this without you. We need your help. Thank you so much for listening to me today. I appreciate your time and attention.
Thank you so much, Bella, for sharing that with us.